Have you ever wondered what truly exists beyond the blue veil of the sky, beyond what your eyes can reach? And what if I told you that a man, a living man, ordinary like you and me, was taken from the visible world and carried into realms so deep that no mortal would dare to even imagine them? He saw angels in their splendor, the fallen in their torment, the righteous in their glory. He walked through eternal dwelling places, watched time bend before the Creator, and at the end stood before the very face of God. This is not a fable, nor a myth shaped by human fear. It is an ancient revelation, buried under the dust of centuries, now returning to awaken your faith and open your eyes to what has always existed above the chaos of the earth. If you live trapped in the immediate, consumed by the weight of routine, suffocated by the noise of the world and the shadows that try to extinguish your hope, prepare yourself. This account will transport you into a realm far beyond the tangible, an eternal and glorious plane set in motion since immemorial times. Watch until the end and discover why Enoch was chosen, and why his story might be the very calling your soul has been waiting for. Long before the flood swallowed the earth, when God's judgment was still only a silent whisper between the heavens, and when nations walked toward their own ruin, there lived a man unlike any other. Enoch, son of Jared, a righteous, upright, and wise man whose entire life rose like a sweet incense before the Most High. While the multitudes devoted their days to idols, corruption, and vanity, Enoch walked with God, and his walk was so pure that heaven itself bent down to watch him. His heart longed for the eternal, his mind was fixed on things above, and his soul burned to know the Creator more deeply. The Lord found in him a rare vessel, worthy of holding secrets that no other man could endure. And so, in the appointed time, God set him apart, not to taste death, but to behold the invisible. Enoch would be taken to the highest heavens, to hidden dwellings, to the throne wrapped in eternal light. He would be made a witness of mysteries from before the foundations of the world, sent to record revelations that would remain hidden from mortal eyes until the destined moment. His journey would not begin as an escape from the earth, but as entrance into the eternal unknown. It happened on a silent dawn, when time itself seemed to hold its breath and the stars watched in absolute stillness. Enoch rested alone, lying upon his bed. It was the first day of the month. Sleep wrapped him like a gentle veil, yet a weight of divine presence pressed upon his heart. Even in slumber, tears streamed down his face. Something sacred was approaching. His soul sensed that the heavens were about to open. Then the atmosphere of the house shifted. A living light, one that came neither from the sun nor the moon, flooded the room. And before his bed appeared two indescribable beings. They were taller than any man, radiating glory from every side. Their faces shone like the sun at its zenith. Their eyes burned like pure fire, and flames danced from their mouths without consuming. Their garments moved like fragments of the firmament, pulsing with vibrant colors. Their wings glistened like newly refined gold, and their hands were whiter than the purest mountain snow. They called Enoch by name, not with human voices, but with an authority that dissolved all fear. Enoch awoke, and upon seeing them, understood that nothing in his life would ever be the same again. If this story has already touched your heart, know this: what comes next is even deeper. But before we continue, I ask something simple. If this message is awakening something inside you, subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell. There are other revelations as powerful as this, and you won't want to miss them. The two beings of fire looked upon Enoch with sublime serenity, a calm that contrasted with the overwhelming force of their presence. He, still stunned, could hardly grasp what was happening before him. His body trembled, not in fear, but in reverence, as if every part of his being recognized that he stood upon holy ground. The angels remained silent, yet their gestures spoke more than any words. Enoch understood, in an instant, that felt like it crossed ages, that he was being summoned to something magnificent, something that surpassed logic, time, and human comprehension. The celestial beings drew near, and their hands, shining like blades of light, extended toward him without touching. Yet Enoch felt himself lifted by an invisible force. The air around him warmed, vibrating as though alive, and a profound peace, so intense it was almost overwhelming, filled his spirit. And then the heavenly voice was revealed. It was not a sound heard with the ears, but with the soul. It was as if the entire universe whispered at once. "Rise, Enoch," proclaimed one of the radiant figures, "for you have been chosen to witness what human eyes cannot see, to understand what has been hidden since the beginning, and you shall be the one who reveals to mankind the mysteries now entrusted to you." Enoch's heart pounded like a sacred drum. He felt the weight of responsibility wrap around him like a mantle, yet with it came the certainty that the purpose before him was far greater than anything he could imagine. Without hesitation, he stood. The angels then moved gently, indicating that he should follow. No word was spoken, but his feet left the ground like leaves lifted by a silent wind, obeying the divine will. The earth fell behind, and the sky, once only a blue canopy above his head, opened before him like successive gates, each more radiant than the last. Enoch was carried above the clouds, higher than any mountain, farther than any visible star, until finally his eyes beheld what no man had ever seen: the first heaven. There, suspended above the firmament, stretched an immense sea. But it was not a sea of water. It was a sea of living light, liquid, pulsating, as if each wave were made of melted stars. Its brilliance was so intense that it seemed to sing. Above this sea, angels flew in perfect harmony, with silver wings that reflected the cosmos. There were 200 of them, the guardians of the constellations. Each governed a portion of the heavens, guiding the movement of the stars with absolute precision. Enoch also saw vast chambers filled with snow as pure as spirit. They were guarded by flaming sentinels whose role was to release at the appointed time the snow that would fall upon the earth. Farther ahead, he found the treasuries of the dew. It was a living substance, shining like olive oil and as translucent as crystal. From each drop flowed a gentle praise to the Creator. Everything was in perfect order. Every star followed its path. Every wind obeyed its course. Enoch, in awe, began to understand that nothing in the heavens existed without purpose. Then the angels moved forward, leading him beyond the radiance of the first heaven. It was like crossing the boundary between harmony and oblivion. Upon reaching the second heaven, the change was immediate. The light faded like a sigh. The warmth vanished. The cold there was profound, piercing, cold that seemed to tear even the spirit. There were no stars, no brilliance, only darkness so dense it seemed to possess weight. And in the depths of that darkness, Enoch saw imprisoned beings. They floated, suspended by invisible chains. They touched no ground, found no rest. They were conscious shadows, souls suffering without making a sound, yet whose agony was unmistakable. They were not men, nor earthly creatures. They were angels, fallen ones. Their wings had become shadows, their faces marked by indescribable despair. From their eyes fell tears that never reached the ground. Enoch felt a crushing heaviness as he gazed upon them. Their sorrow was so deep that it seemed to tear through the very fabric of heaven. Seeing him, they cried out with trembling voices, "Man of God, intercede for us. Pray for us." But Enoch answered, his heart tightened. "How could I, a mortal, intercede for those who were created in light?" The celestial guides then spoke. "These are the apostates. They disobeyed the Most High and followed their rebellious prince, who is confined in the fifth heaven. Therefore, they await the eternal judgment." As Enoch was lifted toward the third heaven, the darkness fell away like a bad dream dispersed by dawn. And what opened before his eyes was something the earth could never contain. It was a living garden, a dwelling of absolute purity. The light did not come from any sun, but from the holiness that emanated from everything within it. The trees, majestically towering, were laden with fruits that seemed to sing in frequencies of life. There was an aroma in the air, unlike anything describable, a fragrance of life, righteousness, and glory, embracing the entire place. At the heart of the garden stood the tree of life, more majestic than any living being in all creation. Its crown glowed in shades of liquid gold, deep crimson, and living flames that seemed to move, breathing together with the light. Every leaf shone as though it had been shaped by the hands of angels themselves. And from its root, deep as the foundations of existence, sprang two pure fountains. One poured out milk as white as freshly fallen snow, the other honey, golden, thick, and fragrant. There were also springs of radiant oil and crimson wine that divided into 4 silent rivers, winding through the earth and returning to Eden like eternal threads of blessing. Around the tree, Hénoch saw 300 guardian angels. They sang gentle hymns, harmonies so pure that they seemed to uphold the heavens themselves. Their faces radiated peace, and their wings, spread like veils of light, protected that place from every shadow. "Here," said the celestial guides, "is the dwelling of the righteous, the home of those who endured pain without denying the Most High, who judged with justice, who fed the hungry, clothed the naked, and walked blamelessly before the Lord. Here they shall receive their eternal inheritance." Hénoch remained silent, his eyes filled with tears, not of sorrow, but of awe and gratitude. He was not standing before a mere garden. He stood before the living echo of God's own heart, where justice blossomed and life pulsed eternally. Then the angels led him beyond the boundary of that paradise. The fragrance of the trees slowly faded, giving way to a new atmosphere, a vibrating pulse, as if the very fabric of time had form in that place. Hénoch had reached the 4th heaven, the realm where the elements of the eternal calendar rested, the living map of the ages. Before him, immense wheels of light turned, celestial gears that moved the cycles of the heavens. At their center was the sun, burning like a sacred altar, majestic in its perpetual dance. Hénoch saw that its light was sustained by hundreds of thousands of angels who accompanied it in its course. Around it were 4 great stars, and beneath each 1,000 smaller ones, marching like armies in perfect celestial discipline. The sun did not rest. It moved upon wheels like a flaming wind, crossing the gates of the east to the west in an endless cycle. But when it set, its crown of glory was removed and guarded by 400 angels, while it rested for 7 great hours. In the 8th hour, it awakened again in light. And in that instant, all the birds of the heavens beat their wings in praise, announcing, "The giver of light comes." Beside it, Hénoch beheld the moon. She passed through her own gates, 12 in all, entering and departing with absolute precision. Each gate governed days, months, and seasons. The moon completed her cycle in 354 days, while the sun moved through 365. It was at the crossing of these rhythms that years, eras, and appointed times were born. Angels recorded everything in books made of pure light, each number shining like living constellations. Suddenly, marvelous creatures appeared in the sky. Phoenix and Idri, magnificent beings with the body of a lion, the head of a crocodile, and wings like those of angels. They flew in wide circles, bringing heat or dew according to the command of the Most High. Their songs were like gentle storms, echoes that shaped the climate and life. There, time itself was music, and music was obedience. After witnessing time dance to the rhythm of the divine will, Hénoch was brought to the 5th heaven. But there, unlike the celestial harmony of the 4th heaven, he found silence. A silence so profound it seemed to beg for sound, so dense it weighed upon the spirit. Before him stood the Grigori, angels with human appearance, yet colossal, as towering as mountains. Their faces were withered like leaves abandoned to winter, their eyes empty as ancient wells, their mouths sealed by regret. They did not praise, They did not serve. They did not speak. They remained in absolute stillness, sunk in a waiting that stretched like an endless eternity. Hénoch turned to his guides and asked, troubled, "Why are they so cast down? Why is there no service here?" The angels replied, "These are the ones who abandoned the Lord of light. 3 of them descended to the earth, took human women, broke their sacred vows, and fathered violent giants who filled the world with blood. Their rebellion wounded the earth and tore the heavens." Hearing this, Hénoch approached the Grigori and said, "I have seen the judgment of your brothers. I prayed for them, but the Most High has held them until the end of times. Why then do you remain silent?" And then, as if Enoch's very voice had touched the deepest wound in their souls, the Grigori lifted their heads, their mouths, sealed for ages, opened slowly, and they burst into a grave, thunderous chant, a sound so powerful it felt like a storm tearing through the soul and making the very air tremble. When the mighty cry of the Grigori finally faded in the 5th heaven, silence reclaimed its place. A silence that seemed to swallow the air and shake the spirit itself. But that silence did not last. With a soft, almost imperceptible motion, Hénoch was lifted once more, breaking through the boundary of invisible worlds until he reached a new realm, the 6th heaven. There, everything was vibrant, pulsating, full of living order. The atmosphere glowed with a warm brilliance, like sacred embers scattered across the firmament. Around him stood 7 orders of glorious angels, all identical in beauty, power, and holiness. There was no difference in garments, no hierarchy of radiance, no distance between their glories. Everything there was perfect unity under the will of the Creator. Hénoch sensed immediately that this level of heaven breathed purpose, discipline, and absolute harmony. These angels did not sing merely out of worship. Their song was part of the architecture of existence. They administered creation. Some measured time, determining the beginnings and endings of cycles. Others coordinated seasons, the movement of years, and the harvests. Some watched over rivers, seas, and their eternal boundaries. Others preserved herbs, fruits, and every seed destined for the earth. Every task upheld the visible world. Nothing existed without someone in heaven guiding its course. Beyond them, Hénoch saw the celestial scribes, beings clothed in light who wrote continuously in eternal books. Every human word, every gesture, every thought was recorded with infinite precision. Nothing was lost, nothing forgotten. Everything stood before the face of the Lord. Hénoch understood then that human life, so fragile, so brief, was observed with the same care that was given to the stars. Among those sublime orders stood 6 radiant phoenixes, 6 cherubim whose wings shone like living torches, and other 6-winged beings who sang in perfect unison. The harmony was so complete that Hénoch's spirit trembled. There was no pause, no rest. The song flowed as if heaven itself had lungs and breathed through continuous worship. There Hénoch understood every detail of creation, from the gleam of constellations to the fall of a grain of dust, was guarded, counted, sustained, and loved. As that sacred song echoed like gentle waves, Hénoch was suddenly taken and lifted again. This time, he passed not only beyond the visible order of angels, but also beyond the boundary where time yields to eternity. He entered the 7th heaven, the highest of the heavens, the place where human words are insufficient, where even silence is holy. There, everything burned, not with destructive fire, but with living glory. The light was substance, not illumination. It was like breathing sparks of the divine essence itself. The air felt heavy with holiness, and every particle glowed as though carrying infinite revelations. Before him, Hénoch beheld 9 celestial legions of indescribable power, thrones, dominions, authorities, cherubim, seraphim, watchers, and many others whose forms surpassed human imagination. They stood facing a single inaccessible center, a point of light so intense that creation itself seemed to bow before it. each being possessed multiple eyes, capable of seeing across every corner of eternity, and wings of flame that sounded like winds of fire. And all of them, every one without exception, sang the same eternal hymn, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord, the ruler of the Sabbath. Heaven and earth are full of your glory." But the most astonishing thing was this: the hymn never ceased, and yet it never repeated. Each note was a new revelation, each sound an infinite truth. It was as if the entire heaven was alive in worship, generating music no created mind could ever fully comprehend. Then the two angels who had accompanied Enoch from the beginning began to step back. Their wings opened like veils of fire, and in silence they withdrew, leaving him completely alone. And before him, emerging from a light brighter than 1,000 suns, stood the throne of the Most High, radiating an intensity Enoch had never imagined could exist. Enoch did not dare lift his eyes. The light that radiated from the throne was so absolute, so indescribable, that his spirit trembled like a leaf before a storm. His flesh nearly collapsed beneath the weight of that presence. Overwhelmed by a fear that was not terror, but pure reverence, he fell with his face to the ground. He felt like dust, like a breath lost before eternity. There, at the border between being and not being, he understood how small he truly was. Yet even in his smallness, Enoch felt with his whole existence, that he stood at the center where time dared not enter, where past and future bowed to the eternal present. He stood before the one who is, who was, and who forever shall be. And though his lips could not form a single word, his entire soul cried out in silent worship, a reverence too great for any sound to carry. Paralyzed by the incandescent glory, Enoch did not move a single muscle. His very existence seemed to dissolve, as though everything he was being rewritten by the holiness surrounding him. But then, in mercy, the Lord sent the archangel Gabriel. His presence was gentle light, like dawn touching the world for the first time. His voice was firm, like the mountains that hold up the earth. Gabriel touched Enoch and said, "Rise, righteous man. The Most High has called you to stand before him for all eternity." But Enoch still trembled, unable to contain the weight of that revelation. "My soul drains away in awe," he whispered in his heart. "I called upon those who brought me here, for in them I trusted. With them I wished to ascend." Then Gabriel lifted him, not with physical strength, but like the wind lifts dust without effort. And Enoch found himself standing once more before the most resplendent throne in existence. Then the Most High commanded, with a voice that seemed to fill all reality, "Michael, remove from Enoch the garments of earth, anoint him with the oil of my glory, clothe him with what is eternal." Michael, great prince of the heavenly armies, approached. The sacred anointing flowed over Enoch like liquid light, as though each drop carried the essence of the primordial dawn. Its fragrance was like newly formed dew, and the brilliance that wrapped around Enoch's body surpassed the brightness of the sun. When Enoch looked at himself, he scarcely recognized his own form. He no longer appeared as a mortal man. He looked like one of the glorious ones, a being touched by eternity. Then the Lord called Pravil, the celestial scribe, whose wisdom was swifter than 1,000 tongues and deeper than the abysses of time. "Pravil, give Enoch the books of my treasures, teach him the mysteries of heaven and earth." And Pravil obeyed. He revealed to Enoch the hidden paths of creation, the rhythm of thunder, the birth of winds, the secret courses of the stars, and the songs known only to angels. He showed him the number of human souls, their appointed days, and the places prepared for each one before the world itself was shaped. Enoch wrote with perfect precision 366 books, each page like a fragment of the divine mind. And the Lord declared, "Sit at my left with Gabriel, for not even to my angels have I revealed what I have revealed to you." Then the voice of the Most High echoed one last time, like the sound from which all other sounds are born. Before anything came to be, I was. I walked among what was invisible. I conceived the thought of making visible what could not be seen. And in you, Enoch, I place this revelation. Now, after everything he has seen, the heavens, the angels, the fallen ones, the righteous, the throne, time itself, and the glory beyond all understanding, Enoch stands as an eternal witness. His journey is not myth, it is not allegory, it is calling, it is warning, it is hope. And the question that crosses ages and reaches us today is simple and eternal. What will we do with this knowledge? Will we ignore the heaven that has been revealed? Or will we prepare our hearts for the kingdom that is coming? If this message has spoken to you, it is because the Lord is calling you higher. Do not let this flame die when the video ends. Share this truth. And if you have not subscribed yet, do it now. For this is only the first of many revelations still to come. And together, we will explore the heavens, the Word, and the eternal mysteries of God. See you soon.